Back with another program video. This one is from 1975. Ohio State against Michigan. Ohio State rallied to win this game with two fourth-quarter touchdowns, 21-14. They finished the regular season undefeated, but then would go to the Rose Bowl and lose the national championship to UCLA, a team they had defeated earlier in the season. And in the game that really got Dick Vermeil the head coaching job of the Philadelphia Eagles. This game was at Ann Arbor, and right inside the cover is, as always, the ugly 1970s cars. This is a Buick Regal. This will be a lot of, because this game's at Michigan, this will be some new stuff, because I don't think this is the first program that I've gotten for an Ohio State at Michigan game. Some throwback games from the past. Michigan's great All-American Ron Kramer would have played for the Green Bay Packers. Michigan Cagers, optimistic, enthused, and ready for the 1975-76 season. Michigan would go to the national championship game where they would lose to the last undefeated team to win the national title in Indiana. And we are on Final Four afternoon later today, where Gonzaga will attempt to be the first team to go undefeated since Indiana and win the national championship. 1991 UNLV went undefeated during the regular season, but lost in the Final Four to Duke. Talks about that. I don't really remember either one of those guys. There's the number of Clint Castor famous restaurants. I never heard of that. Comparing the teams of Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes, Ohio State, Archie Griffin, Pete Johnson would eventually be a Cincinnati Bengal, Brian Basnagel with the Chicago Bears, Lenny Willis with the Minnesota Vikings, and the USFL Chicago Blitz / Arizona Wranglers. For Michigan, Gordon Bell spent a few years with the New York Giants, Rob Lytle with the Denver Broncos. Rick Leach would play Major League Baseball for the Tigers, Blue Jays, and I think the Giants. Jim Smith would be a Pittsburgh Steeler and a Birmingham Stallion of the USFL. Michigan Hall of Fame. Michigan Hall of Fame. The name of the game is Pabst Blue Ribbon. Calculators and accessories. Those were not cheap in the day. The early calculator. Let's look at the Michigan coaching staff. Gary Moeller, who would eventually be the head coach at Michigan, as well as Illinois. Jack Harbaugh, father of the current Michigan head coach, Jim, and Baltimore Ravens coach, John. Bill McCartney, who would eventually be the head coach at Colorado. I believe that is people that became head coaches right offhand. There's Michigan's Wolverines. We already mentioned Gordon Bell. Dwight Hicks would win a Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers. Jim Smith was mentioned earlier. This was Rob Lytle. Mark Donahue I don't remember him playing pro ball, but he was an All-American for the Wolverines. And up in the upper right-hand corner, a fellow by the name of Les Miles, who would head coach several teams, including LSU, to a national title, and was recently fired by Kansas for various improprieties. Walt Downing was a 49er for a while. Mike Ken was a first-round pick by Atlanta and had a long NFL career with the Falcons. John Anderson would be a Green Bay Packer for a while. I was asked recently if I missed the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry being close, and my response was, no, I don't. I like beating them every year. I enjoy beating them very much, thank you. They can beat them every year. None of this bothers me at all. The luxurious 1976 Lincoln Town Car, which could now, Jesus, look at the size of that thing. My gosh, you could put a family of 4 in there and have them live, not just ride. There's the team rosters. Just in case there's no pictures of the Buckeyes, I'll go through this real quickly. I think we covered some of these guys earlier. Left tackle Chris Ward was a first-round pick of the Jets. On defense, Bob Brudzinski spent some time with the Rams and the Dolphins. Ray Griffin with the Cincinnati Bengals. And Tim Fox had a long career with the New England Patriots. And there's another television, cars, and beer. It's all through this stuff when you do deal with the 70s. Bimbos, specializing in ribs. You Don't Have to Slay a Dragon, the romantic comedy of college football. Oh, Lord, I bet you that just sounds absolutely awful. Okay, well, here are the Buckeyes, so we'll have a chance to go through some of these fellas. Tom Skladany was a longtime Detroit Lion. Tom Claiborne would kick 4 field goals in the 1974 game that would give Ohio State all of their points in a 12-10 victory. Cornelius Green, longtime Buckeye quarterback. We already mentioned Ray Griffin, Tim Fox, Pete Johnson. Craig Cassidy is the son of Buckeye Heisman winner Hopalong Cassidy. Archie Griffin. Aaron Brown would be an All-American a few years later, but I don't remember if he played in the NFL. There's Chris Ward. See, we mentioned a lot of these guys. This car dealer's back to Wolverines. Buckle up, Michigan fans. Combination belt and buckle, $12.95, including postage. Right beside Michigan's Modern Dental School. University of Michigan football with Jim Wood and Rick Bay. Occupied. Gone for more cold bud. Be right back. What you should know about Michigan Stadium. Various facts about the quotation mark Big House, which is still there today, being used by good old Michigan. Michigan songs, we won't be singing them. Get some Michigan song books or albums, though. Pass on that, too. The athletic staff. The 1975 composite schedule. And another car on the back. The Ford Thunderbird, which is a little smaller, which means you could only probably, a family of 3 could live in it. And then on the back Chevy starting lineup, the Chevette, Vega hatchback coupe. The Camaro was a nice looking car, as was the Corvette. But the rest of these cars are just, there's a lot of really neat things about nostalgia from the 70s and 80s, from a guy that grew up in that time. But boy, it's not the cars, I tell you. It is not the cars at all. Okay, so that wraps it up here. Michigan hosting Ohio State, 1975. Don't forget to check the blog out at thoughtsofrs.blogspot.com. Check out the subscribe button up at the top. Make an older fella happy. Not that it makes me a dime. So thanks for the time, and we'll be back next time with the 3rd program from that particular eBay seller. And as we continue to whittle away at the stuff that I've bought, before we get to open that large container that I've been asked about from the first video. So thanks for watching. See you next time.